Hello, friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under, where we've got some snow in June. It's okay, you can have snow in June, it's fine. Just working through a little backlog of videos here, but it's good. This is Big a Bullfrog, Eka Taylor, slash whatever else you want to call me. And joining me today is a first time co-host on 10 Points Under. Really glad to have him on, really excited to see what insight he brings to the game. This is Sir Artorias. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited to be casting with you. We were talking a little bit, of course, before we started. It'd actually be really, really funny sometime to just like, especially get somebody who's new to co-casting with me, and then just like not talk to them beforehand. Just as soon as they get on, just start recording and go with it. But we were talking beforehand about how Sir Artorias, you were saying that you've um, just recently kind of made your return to Heroscape. You've been playing online a bit, and this game is actually from. Oh, I hope I'm remembering this right, because this is just a few minutes ago that you said this. But this is like the first season that you played in online, right?
Yeah, this is basically the first full season of online Heroscape that I played kind of after an absence of, I don't know, let's say about a decade during which I was uh, in college, being young, getting married, all of that. And so, yeah, we were talking about it's just been cool to come back after kind of a pretty long absence and just see that the community is doing so well still. And lo and behold, there's tons of new figures to play with, and some of these Valhalla customs that we're gonna see in this matchup. So yeah, it's been awesome to kind of jump back in, and I'm glad I can kind of jump into this with you.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you to jump into this as well. And yeah, just like you said, we've got. I mean, there's so much new stuff for the hobby if you've been away for a little bit. With the custom figures, with the online seasons that are still going to this day regularly. It's crazy for the hobby. You're definitely spoiled for choice when it comes to heroes. When it comes to a game that's been dead for 10 years, you're still pretty spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you said, this game does have some custom figures in it that we'll be looking at. I'm excited to see them in action. I don't know how much I've seen of either of them actually, like a little bit, but not tons. So it'll be cool to see them. But this game is from Online Heroscape Season 39. This is a Bring to event that they did at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2021. Basically, it's just a Bring to event. There is one, I don't know, kind of special rule, or more of like a map trend that they did, where they chose maps. All of the maps had snow on them. All of the maps had heavy snow going on, even if the maps weren't necessarily designed for it. Like this map, for example, wasn't designed to be used with heavy snow, but it works with heavy snow. And so they just got a bunch of snow maps. They turned on the heavy snow, and that's what you've got going on. So that's just one thing to take note of. If you're like, why don't these figures climb these hills faster? It's because heavy snow. So that's just one thing to remember. But also, as a bring two event, that means each player brings two armies, and then they take turns picking which one out of the pool of four that they want to play. And in this matchup, this is actually the finals of season 39, the final game, the to see who's the big victor of it all. And we've got Scaperedude versus Luke slash Captain Stupendous. You'll know him by Captain Stupendous on the forums, or Luke over here in the chat box. But you've got Luke is over here on the side. He actually chose one of Scaperedude's armies, which is Mezzodemons times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Krug and Marku. And then on the other side, Scaperedude actually chose one of Luke's armies, which is 2 Sentinels of Jandar, Konkan, the Sentinels of Grex, which are a C3V figure, as well as Cal the Smuggler, which is a C3V figure that has a chance. You'll just notice right here, just to point that out really quick. At the beginning of each round, he gets to roll the d20. If he rolls high enough, he can be placed just about anywhere on the board, similar to the Airborne Elite, just not next to figures and not on glyphs. If he rolls mid-range, he stays where he is, and if he rolls too low, he actually leaves the battlefield. Not destroyed, he can come back in a future round, but if you end a round and he's not on the board, then you don't get to roll, because it's kind of like pseudo-destroyed for a bit. So just to point that out really quick so that you know why there's a figure up here already. But yeah, so going into this, I don't know, Sir Artorias, do you have any, I don't know, thoughts going in, any predictions? Not necessarily spoilers, but like what you think of the matchup?
Yeah, so I played Scaperedude in the round before, um, and even though Mezzos are an official figure, they kind of came in at the tail end, and so I didn't have that much experience with them. But man, they are good.
Mm-hmm.
The Exo's ability to keep up their board control is just awesome for a squad, especially because it's just a 2-figure squad. So I think that you know that army's got a pretty strong chance in the matchup. I do think the counter pick from Scaper Edu is kind of interesting. I think played the mezzos were used. Which I think in a bring two format kind of tells you a little something about the army.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think his pick here is interesting, right? Because the mezzos get value against attacking into common squads, and both of the other armies that were in that pool were the construct builds with Talongol, which wouldn't have given the mezzos that bonus. So I think it's kind of an interesting choice to go with this army, but I like if you're going to use a common squad to go against the mezzos, one with super high defense capabilities like the Sentinels of Jandar, it's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a pretty good choice as well. You've also got the flying, and there's a lot of height on this map, and so I think that kind of influences it as well. Would be my guess. But yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. Mezzodemons, they're pretty nasty. They're like one of my favorite classic scape designs, especially from like the D&D waves. They're just cool. They're good design. But yeah, and then you've got the matchup is interesting. Actually, I'll just throw in a quick plug right here for Daisel's channel. Daisel's YouTube channel has actually a game versus versus Scaperedude on this same map, and Scaperedude is playing the Mezzodemons, and they did pretty well. Not to spoil anything too much, but I mean, I think once you get into the game a little bit, it kind of spoils itself. But also the fact that Scaperedude made it to the finals is there as well. But yeah, so Scaperedude has played with the Mezzodemons on this map already. He knows what they can do, and so I think that probably also influenced his choice of going with Sentinels of Jandar and kind of like how he'll hope to be able to play against that exoskeleton defense, which is really strong. But yeah, with that, let's go ahead and jump into the game. See, we can cut the speculating and just see what actually happens, I guess.
Okay, so I feel like no big surprises here. Skateboard E-Dude's got a lot of order markers. Oh, actually, I lied. There is some surprise. So Skateboard E-Dude's got a lot of order markers on Cal, which I think makes sense given kind of his posture up there. He wants to try to thin out those mezzos
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible, and his quick draw is good against their normal ranged attack. I am a little surprised that Krug's being let off here, though.
Yeah, same. It wasn't what I was expecting. Although I guess it does kind of make sense if you're expecting Cal to be going all over the place. Um, Krug is pretty nice if he gets next to Krug or next to Cal, and that you don't have to worry about quick draw. At the same time, this map does have a lot of little elevation changes, and the heavy snow on top of that means that Cal can play keep away from Krug if he wants to. But then, are you attacking
Yeah,
Krug and are you giving Krug extra attack? I don't know. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
yeah. I definitely had the same thought. It's going to be a little hard for Krug to be moving around. Um, with all this height change, and then especially with the heavy snow. But I guess if the thinking is that with Cal, he's going to be targeting those mezzos, taking those out, and that means he needs to stay within range of them, and maybe that gives Krug an opportunity to engage like he is right now.
Mm-hmm. And 2 moons right away on Cal. Wow, not bad. Krug doesn't need any attack. But Then this is interesting because do you disengage with Cal to take another shot at a Mezzodemon, or do you attack Krug to get some early wounds on him?
Yeah, it is interesting, and especially because Cal, if the D20 likes you, he can go wherever he wants. I think in this situation, I might get the height advantaged attack on Krug. Did he? Well, actually, it depends. So, Scaperedude is there another third order marker out? Yeah, Krug's got another turn.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes it tougher. Then yeah, I would take that disengagement. Because if he was ending the round, then what would be nice is, you could get that height advantage attack and then zip over wherever and start targeting mezzos on the other side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be super nice. Just roll up. I don't remember how. Let me look at the 11 or higher, and then you just jump over to this side, and you're shooting mezzos again. And Krug's got to come all the way across. Also, pretty interesting. Just one thing I want to point out is I do like the Luke's decision to kill mezzos instead of use exoskeletons while they're still in the start zone, because you've got no board position to hold. So probably better to, especially when you're only going to be taking normal attacks, just hold on to those exoskeletons. And then also with that, Scaperedude actually rolls a 4. So Cal is no longer next to Krug, but also Cal is no longer on the board.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually kind of nice. Get him out of danger. He peeled off how many mezzos? 3?
Yeah, 3 mezzos. So pretty decent start. I think you probably don't want to take those 3 wounds from Krug. You're probably not expecting to take 3 wounds from an unwounded Krug, but sometimes it's just how it rolls. And like you said, having him off the board, he does have the potential to come back on at any round in the future. Hopefully he makes it back on, because if he doesn't make it back on, then that kind of hurts. But
yeah, and I think what's nice is he's thinned out some of those mezzos with Cal. He's taken them out, because you don't want to be left with your melee just against Krug, right? Because he's gonna smash you. And so it's nice that he's still got some life left on Cal, and so kind of in the late game he can do some kiting of Krug, just to whittle him all the way down.
yeah, if you can get end game Cal versus Krug, you're probably in a good spot. Unless you hit the 1 through 4 and then Cal disappears from the blues. But other than that, you're pretty happy with that, I'd imagine. And then we'll see that Mezzo.
Yeah, and I think my overall game plan in here is I like the way that Scaperedude started off with, Cal going at the mezzos, and Krug's a good challenge against that. And then I think looking at the remaining forces, I like Sentinels of Grax with Konkin in the end game with Krug as well. Like if you had to, because those Sentinels of Grax, 5 attack dice buffed, I think by Konkin.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna take Krug quickly down, because you don't want to like slowly whittle Krug down, because then he just gets more and more powerful. You want to be able to hit him hard and take him down quick. And so I do like the Sentinels of Grax for that. And he could even throw 1 at Krug to tie him down, leave the other one back, and then try to resurrect. Once Krug gets kind of that the other one off the board.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just double checking the Sentinels of Grax because I always forget the specifics of how their resurrection power works. But yeah, so each time they take a turn, or I guess reveal an order marker, they get a 14 or higher, they get to bring the destroyed one back. So that's pretty good odds if you're taking straight turns with them. And like you said, if you've got one that's hanging back, you'll probably be able to come back.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's nice about the Sentinels here is, the Mezzo's advantage is using those exo markers to maintain board advantage, right? You get an exo on height and someone kills them. Well, good job killing that one. Just kidding, it's a marker. And that Mezzo is still there to launch some height attacks on you, right? Because I think they normally throw 3 +1 for height, +1 against a common. So the Sentinels of Jandar are going to be defending against 5 attack dice. That's pretty. That's a tall order.
Yeah, yeah, pretty beefy there. Which is where like jungle will be nice if he gets up to 5 defense. I'm really interested to see how it plays out because it's a lot of attack power from the Mezzos, but also the ability to double shields from the Sentinels is also really good. But like, is it enough? I guess becomes the question. Where they could just tank attacks all day long, but they're usually just mini Deathwalkers and a little intro from Grey Waves there. I'm not sure. I think he's supposed to be like that. But
Oh, yeah. I think there is like there's something like where if you're logged in multiple times,
mhm. Yeah,
like if
ever
you're watching one person's game and then you go to start your own, then it does that.
Yep, exactly. That's what happened. And then you'll try to log in to say sorry, and you accidentally put sorry in where it says, your name, and you log in as sorry, and yeah. It is a little finicky if you try to have multiple tabs open at the same time of different games, unfortunately. But
Yeah, but we got a shout out to you.
I'll take it.
Grey
I'll
Waves.
take
I
it.
think. Yeah, Grey Waves talking about how he's I think become a much better player, and he's talking about Casters of Valhalla and 10 points under. So
Sweet. Yeah, I'll take that. And he also got it in the right order. Kesters of Valhalla would be higher up the ladder than 10 points under, but I'll still take it.
yeah. So back to this game. I'm interested. Do these Sentinels of Jandar get the defense bonus from Konkin right now? Because they're on the other side of the ruins, and I feel like
Mhm.
that might block adjacency.
Yeah, yes, it should. Sorry, I'm like, how tall is the ruin again? I think the ruin is officially height 6 or 7, but either one of those, that's enough to block the adjacency. So they should not be getting the bonus currently.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job of keeping those Sentinels just out of Mezzo range.
Hmm.
That range. So the Sentinels have a threat range of 5, right? Because they can fly 4, and then adjacent they can attack. Mezzo's threat range or range is just 4, so that's kind of a perfect scenario. You either stay on the height with your Mezzo and don't attack, ceding that first strike, or you lose your height advantage, and just to ping a 4 versus 5 with a 4 versus 4 or 5 with double shields.
Hmm.
I feel like I'd probably want to stay on the height and have them come to me.
Yeah, exactly. And there'll probably be, I'm guessing, a good amount of development along those lines. It's interesting watching Captain Stupendous develop with the Mezzos, and I think that's mostly because it's just interesting to watch anybody develop with the Mezzos. But they've got good board presence, and their exoskeletons let them stay where they want to stay for the most part. But also, it's just hard to develop a 2-figure squad in a way that like makes you feel like you have good board control. So right now he's kind of trending north, which obviously a good choice because that's where Scaperedude's figures are. Although I guess since he has the range, he could go south and like set up a bunker down there as well if he really wanted to. But yeah, the 2-figure squads are always interesting to watch and see how people decide to go with them.
Yeah, and I was saying, I think it's clear that the Sentinels are, developing up so that they can, quickly get engaged and get that Konkin buff, and be attacking as many times as possible per turn. And for the Mezzos, there might be some situations where you're on height, but you actually want your Mezzo to die, because if you don't, you're going to get 2 more attacks of 3 against you,
Hmm.
right? The Sentinels of Jandar don't have bonding, so if they, if there's 3 Sentinels next to your Mezzo, with attacking up with a 4 versus 4 because Konkin's backing them. Well, maybe you take your Mezzo off, and then if you have a Mezzo behind, you can move him back up onto the height, and that might save you some exo markers a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely options spot for that Sentinel. You're gonna move up. I'm not sure why he's not just taking the attack. Maybe to go beyond, go for Krug.
Yeah, but you could still get to Krug if you were on that 5 spot, which would be a nice place to be,
Right.
right? Because I think the Mezzo's on 4. I think the Mezzo's on 4, so you could still have height advantage.
This one,
I forget.
this one is 5.
That one's 5. Okay.
Even ground though, so even ground is still 9.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I think, let's see, that Sentinel is right.
Oh, so he doesn't have the move to land on heavy snow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good old heavy snow rules.
Yeah, that heavy snow is a little bit tougher for flying or for melee, but you know the flying definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it looks like Cal's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back south, which wonder if he goes with Cal order markers, or Sentinels are pretty developed, but Cal would love to take shots, I'm sure.
Well, and I think he does have his Sentinels behind the glacier, so you know I think that's not a bad spot for them to be in. But yeah, it is kind of a good question. What do you do there now that Cal's back?
Yeah, like part of me would almost want to put Cal further back just to make sure he's not here from Mezzos. Although I don't know, because this also does like Luke doesn't have the same order marker problem that that Scaperedude is looking at right now. He just basically goes Mezzos and he's probably okay. But also it does divide up his attention, and with a 2-figure squad, that's important because does he send figures down here to attack Cal? If he does, he probably wants to engage so that he's not taking the quick draw chance because that'll just bypass Exoskeleton. Or does he try to keep reinforcing up here? And it also totally depends on what Scaperedude decides to.
Yeah, my guess is you'll see Cal be ignored a little bit. He put him on height. He put him kind of behind a lot of line of sight blockers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's got that passive defensive ability with quick draw. You know, so I don't think he feels too threatened by the Mezzos. Also because for Captain Stupendous, like if you're moving your Mezzos to threaten Cal, you're moving them away from your development on the other side.
Right. Yeah, and then you're just giving up a lot of ground to Sentinels and Jandar, which they're probably pretty okay with.
Yep. And I think what I see coming this turn is Konkin order marker 1 going on to that 3 height ice by the Mezzo, getting an attack against the Mezzo, and then Sentinels moving up to that 3 spot, and then this other Sentinel that's currently between the glaciers moving over maybe even to the 2, because then he could get jungle if he's trying to use another Mezzo to target him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing something like that.
Yeah, I think that could easily be along what happens there. Calconcan Sentinel. Alright, so not the order marker 1 on Concan, which I'm actually kind of surprised with. I would think you'd want Concan in there. I'm definitely not a Concan expert, but I think it makes sense to like get him in there and engaged because that's gonna be a hot spot.
I know. If only you had your last guest on here, he'd be telling you all about Konkin.
That is true. He would be.
I feel like that's one of the things that I know him most for is his love of Konkin.
It was a mistake. He definitely should have chosen this one. I gave him the option. Of playing or of talking about Konkan. It's up for some reason.
I like that. So that's 2 wounds on Krug, and I like that he just moved in 1 Sentinel, so doesn't give Krug the opportunity to if he takes out one, well, he takes out one, and then he can just keep pinning him in that spot with more Sentinels,
Yeah, if he can
and he
just
helps
keep
his
that flow
development.
going and, just slowly keep getting Sentinels there one at a time, I think that's great for him.
Yeah, and I'd say like looking at the board state right now, I feel like it's still pretty even. Like I don't really know if I'd say one player really has a advantage right now.
Yeah, same. It's we'll see how there goes the first Sentinel, but I agree because going into it, it's I don't know. There's a lot going into this game. I'm still trying to get a good read on it. I feel like, and there's the Concan moving up here, so that you can buff figures right here, which is fine. I don't know. I'd rather engage. I think I'd go right here because then you can still buff 2 figures. Um, but I don't know. I'd just love to engage a mezzo with a hero, I guess, is the big thing there.
Yeah, and I think what's also nice about moving to that other 3 spot is, if he wants to keep the mezzo there, well, then he knows what's coming next turn is going to be at least 2 attacks of 4 up onto him, which is a pretty good odds of taking off some exo markers,
Mm-hmm.
or he seeds that high ground spot, and then Cabinet or Scaperedude can develop a little bit more. Just kind of continually push him back a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And we do see 4 moons on Concan in that first couple of
Oh wow.
attacks, so that kind of hurts. But all right, and now maybe we'll see damage back. Right, so there's a hit, and there goes the first exoskeleton marker. Man, that's the thing about mezzos. It's really nice to be like, oh yeah, early game, Cal killed 3 of them. But oh yeah, they still have 10 exoskeleton markers that I've got to bash my way through.
Yeah, when you think about it, they're one of like the cheaper range squads if you
Mm-hmm.
think about the exo markers, right? Because it's like, okay, 60 points, right, for a squad, or I think that's right. Maybe it's 65.
Yeah.
It's 65, yeah. But you get 2 figures, and then you basically get, essentially you get to save 2 figures as well. So it's almost like having a 4-man squad where you only get to attack with 2 of them, or attack and move with 2 of them per turn.
Mm-hmm.
So at that price point, that's pretty nice, right? I mean, 4th master, a 4-person squad with for 70 points, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, no, it's really good value there. As Cal leaves the board again. Poor guy has no idea what's going on with his teleportation device. It's pretty finicky. I actually do really like I think Cal's one of my favorite C3V designs. Just because I think they really got that theme of having a finicky teleportation device that, sometimes it works great and you're, wherever you want to be on the board, and sometimes you just like disappear from the game.
Yeah.
Marker on Krug. So Krug might be coming in maybe end of the round to get some hits in.
Yeah.
Which, depending on what the board looks like at that point, could either be really good or it could not be great, because like if it happened right now and Krug came in to attack right here, then he's just giving himself up to some high ground. So that's not preferable, but we'll see what's decided there. Excellent. So
That's interesting. Well, I think I wonder if he's just protecting him a little bit.
okay.
I think what's interesting is that glyph Zawit, which we haven't really talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the round, you basically can go wherever you want to, and so that's actually, it's nice that it's nice for Captain Stupendous that glyph's on the board because, if Cal comes back into action wherever he is, well, he can throw a Mezzo on that glyph, on order marker 3, and then Cal appears, boom. Well, now my Mezzo's going to be where Cal's at, or is across the board. That might help him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be. I actually kind of want that to happen. I would love for endgame Krug to just teleport next to Cal.
Oh, that's a good hit on that Mezzo.
Mm-hmm.
And what's nice is he's got that jungle. So even though he's given up height to maybe some Mezzos, he's got that extra defense die, which counts as double. So that's kind of a good use of jungle for these Sentinels.
Yeah, that'll be really good with helping Scaperedude hopefully keep his board position, to keep his Sentinels in play. Man, lots of dice being thrown around this little triangle right here, and nothing happening.
Yeah, I do also like this move that Scaperedude made with his Sentinel, put it up on the 5 height.
Mm-hmm.
He basically made it so that if Captain Stupendous wants to get up onto height with another Mezzo and shoot down, that he's going to be engaged on even ground. So I think that's kind of a good a move that both kind of helps his development, but also helps maybe stem some of these advantaged attacks that the Mezzos are going to be getting.
Yeah, exactly. He's got really good placement. Like Scaperedude, I've played with him a lot. He's one of our Utah players, and he's got pretty good placement awareness. I've learned a lot from him as far as that goes, and setting up, just those little blocks, stuff like that. Let's see, Concan does go down, so that'll be hurting, but
Grabs a treasure glyph.
We'll hopped on the treasure glyph. I was also gonna say, especially with this guy up here, where there've been so many attacks. Well, so many. By so many, I mean like what, 4 at this point, like 6 attacks going on him, and it's always the worst when, Mezzos are already annoying enough with their exoskeletons, but when you can't even break their defense, it's that
Yeah.
just hurts.
Yeah, and oh yeah, you're saying that's a Sentinel that hopped onto the treasure glyph, not Conkin. Conkin's on the in between the two, right?
Concan is dead at this point.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah, he got sniped by, I think this guy came around, took an even ground attack on him.
Well, I think these Sentinels are proving pretty hardy. I think we've lost just one. Is that right?
So yeah, they're not dropping super fast. But at this point, it looks like they are dropping a little bit faster than.
Yeah, and you're getting to that dangerous spot where you're, almost down a full squad, like where you don't have a full squad to activate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that will really hurt going in. So.
Yeah, and interesting. So he's going all in with the Sentinels with one order marker on the Grax. Maybe he moves those up order marker 3, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Although it could just be YOLO Sentinels of Jandar, which, I mean, I could see at this point. You're kind of hitting the part where you're like, all right, I just need stuff to go right for me, and maybe that's just, getting my Sentinels of Jandar to overperform. Like, that was a good turn. You took off 2 exoskeletons on that high Mezzodemon there, so that works out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I do like that. I think that's kind of the move that I'd be making at this point is, now I think the momentum shifted towards Captain Stupendous because he's got 2 Mezzos on height.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little bit of development. He's got plenty of exo markers left. And so, you got to be a little bit more aggressive there and say, okay, I'm hoping that my Sentinels of Jandar are going to hang on till the end of the round so I can get as many of those exos off as possible. Because, worst thing that happens is, the Mezzos get to launch, one attack into my start zone.
Right.
That's that. Yeah,
Yeah, which isn't nearly as big of a concern as I agree. And if there's a figure that you're going to be risky with, I think Sentinels of Jandar are a pretty good case for that with their double shields. It's it's a little swingy as we've seen earlier. We had some Sentinels of Jandar fall to some attacks that you could argue maybe they shouldn't have, but I mean, like, everybody's gonna think eventually.
yeah,
But like, at this point, they're holding on pretty okay.
yeah. And he's rolling pretty well too. These last two defense rolls, 3 shields out of 4. That's
Mm-hmm.
6 shields. If only these guys had a counter strike, he'd be doing a lot
Oh
better.
yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. And even these last two attacks, both of those go through. So I think this round he's, how many exoskeletons is that? He's done like 4 or 5 exoskeletons just this round, which is a lot more than he's done the rest of the game with a full
Yeah,
squad.
I think it's 5 exo markers down this round so far.
Man, that worked out perfectly for him. Other than, I think, let's see, I think he had lost 1 sentinel during that round, but then the rest of the time they just held on. So yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him go full sentinels again. Although it looks like he's trying to get Cal into a better position to start taking shots from. So maybe Cal starts seeing some action this round.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, so it's not a full sentinels. You'll still, they're both blocked. I can just feel, I think, what Scaperedude is feeling right now, where you come off of a hot round and you're like, all right, let's do it again, and then they just quit on you.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I'm not really getting a lot of good attacks. I think I might have still done full Sentinels of Jandar, right? I mean, last round he only lost 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point I might kind of just be going for it, try to squeeze off. Like, you're almost through all of the exo markers, which is really nice. Yeah, you're almost through those exo markers, which is awesome, because then you don't then the mezzos can't quite keep up their board control.
Yeah, exactly. Like, once you start getting to where you're actually killing figures with your attacks, you're in a pretty good spot. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so and like we were saying, if you're going to make that risky play, Sentinels of Jandar are one of the better ones to do it with. Not working out for him in this round, though. Man. Sentinels of Jandar are like, new round, new me. I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, and see, this is what I don't kind of like about moving Cal in that spot, is I would have had him out of the action and gone all Sentinels, is because now you've got a Mezzo that's tied him down on even ground.
Oh, and he dies. Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, no, I totally agree there. I think that placement was a mistake. And I think, like, order marker 3 on Cal, he probably wanted to be there so he could snipe there. But putting him here and then leaving him alone for markers, I think.
Yeah,
I think if you leave him
that's
here,
tough.
it's a better bluff, and then maybe you can jump again with the teleport, or at the very least, you don't have a mezzo coming down your way, and your snipe is easier, I think.
Yeah, and I think even, you could go to that spot, which is pretty tucked away, and then you could go down on your 3rd order marker to that 4 height snow,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could still get some height attacks on the mezzos in the start zone.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a good spot to put him in if you wanted to be using him. Because I think from where that current mezzo is on the 5 height, on the south side of the map, like, from either one of those, you can't really target that 4 spot. You don't quite have line of sight there, I don't think. And so that might have been a good place to kind of stash him.
Yeah, I agree. I think this little spot right here would have been great for Cal. Take some shots into the start zone. You're not, and I think Scaperedude was probably worried about these forward mezzos, but I don't think you need to worry about them too much because their exoskeleton's going to protect them anyway. You can kill mezzos in the back, and Captain Stupendous is more likely, as we saw earlier, to just let those ones die since they're not on the front line. They don't need to hold any ground. So you can get some actual kills, and then when Sentinels of Grax come into play, that makes it easier for them because they're not running clear across the board into the start zone. They're just fighting the guys up front. And yes, they already have height, but I mean, Cal's only getting one attack anyway.
Yeah,
or one per turn. So you're not expecting that much out of him anyway.
yeah, and I feel like you want Cal for that end game against Krug, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but but it looks like all we've got here is Sentinels of Grax on the other side, and so what's nice is they get to, I think, avoid this heavy snow, um,
That's true.
right,
Yeah.
from levitation, so that'll help them get up quicker to engage. So we'll see what they can do. They do have the ability to kind of regenerate themselves, and part of me even thinks maybe a good idea is to kind of keep one back in your start zone and then just be sending one up, um, right? Just because they can outlast, and we know the Mezzo's development isn't quite the best, and especially because you almost have all those exo markers off, like
Mm-hmm.
that could be a good opportunity to kind of whittle them down and survive.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Interesting to see, and it looks like so Captain Stupendous, I think, acknowledged that, and that's why he left that spot to go try to kill both of them at the same time.
Yeah,
But yeah, with
yeah, and
or sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, and I'm saying he, 10 on the D20, close, but a little bit too far to be coming bringing one back.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so get it in there. That'll be
I think if that was me, I'd take that as an exo.
yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Oh, maybe he already did.
It,
Oh, he's killing
no,
it.
okay, yeah, I feel like I would have take left that as an exo, so that on my next order marker. Oh, that's the end of the round.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be why doesn't want should have switched there. Which gets
Yeah, yeah,
oh, and he gets a 20. He gets the second one back.
nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was part of Scaperedude's thought process when choosing this Sentinel army to go against the Mezzos. We were talking about how strong the Mezzos are, but if you think about like, I mean, I think he wanted end game Cal going into this, but end game Sentinels of Grax also aren't terrible because you've got the Mezzodemons are also only getting 2 attacks per turn, which means that they're not going to be dying as quickly or as consistently as they would against a 4-figure squad or even a 3-figure squad. And so there's a lot more choice, and I think you can be a lot more forward with them than you normally would,
Hmm.
um, so that because you're not going to be losing, or you're probably not going to be losing both in the same turn, especially once the mezzos are spread out a little bit like this.
Yeah, and here you go. Final exo marker is gone.
All right, each kill is now actually a kill. That's a good feeling. That's that's a good feeling when you're playing against mezzos to be like, all right, I can actually kill stuff now. Oh, going for treasure glyph. Nice. That's a good choice. That makes sense now. Because I was kind of wondering why he was being so aggressive with the exoskeleton markers right there. But if you've got order marker on Krug to go for a treasure glyph, then yeah, you definitely want to keep those sentinels tied down.
Yeah, I think he had 3 order markers on Krug this round.
Oh, did he? I didn't even notice. I need to pay more. Oh, and takes a wound from the trap. Poor Krug, not great at picking traps.
Yeah, but wounds good for him actually right
That's
now.
true.
So especially going up against those Sentinels of Grax 6 defense,
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 dice will have a much better time than the 3 attack dice to get through.
That's true, yeah. Sentinels versus the Krug's got a lot of power, but Sentinels a lot of staying power. Or potential staying power at Krug. Go for the whiff again? I don't think so. It's kind of a terrible spot to be caught in. Yeah, he's pulling back.
Oh, yeah, pull them into your mezzos.
Yeah, I like that a lot more than trying to go with Sentinels while they're on high ground as well, on top of everything else. On top of good stats and positioning.
Yeah, I like that move to Zoe because we're at the end of the round, and one thing that you could do is you could throw them into a position where you could quickly engage like those last mezzos in the start zone, just kind of tie them down.
Mm-hmm. Go back there. Let's see, can Zoet, and I don't look at Zoet does enough. Are there restrictions for Zoet? Or can they move into engagement? Or
Uh, no, so you have to. So it says you may place the figure on this glyph on any empty space on the battlefield, not adjacent to any other figures.
okay.
And then if you're engaged, you don't take any leaving engagement.
Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say I'd go right here, but that's engaged, so that's not allowed. Instead, going for the back of the start zone, which I don't think I love that actually.
Yeah, now that I see that you want to tie down the mezzos, but you got to squeeze past Marku there. So
Yeah, and Mark is going to be holding on to you forever. Like you could go for this one just fine, but then these two just like move up and attack down. I think I would
yeah,
have gone like back here and then like either come through this way or just like move on to even ground versus this mezzo.
yeah. Or what I would do is, what's kind of interesting is you almost have this north-south divide. I kind of would maybe one strategy would be to leave one sentinel up on top,
Mm-hmm.
and then use Zoet to swoop over a sentinel towards the other side. Spend your next, order marker 1, order marker 2, rolling your d20 to try to get them back, and
Oh
then
yeah.
Zoet them back over. Kind of do this, and then you basically force Captain Stupendous to kind of, start moving his mezzos all around the board to kind of threaten wherever you might want to pop up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you remember where Captain Stupendous' order markers were?
I don't,
Oh,
and they're just out of view.
that's wow, 7 wound Krug. Holy cow.
Okay.
And I keep going back and forth on how much I like this and how much I don't like this, because now I actually kind of like it, because I like with Luke's decision to go north with Krug. I guess I was thinking order markers on mezzos. I don't like this split as much, but if order markers are on Krug and he's forced to deal with this guy, then you can have this guy safely attacking the start zone, and you're not too worried about him getting attacked by mezzos because order markers are on Krug. And then if this guy dies, then you've got this one over here to bring him back. So that one I can get behind.
Yeah, it looks like he got off another mezzo.
Mm-hmm.
2 down there.
So let's see, 4 mezzos, 1 life Krug, full health Marku.
Oh, 8 skulls.
8 skulls. 11
Man.
casual 11 dice with Krug. Which
Okay,
I
Sentinels.
just to point out really quick, because I don't think we mentioned it, but he did get the heroic attack treasure glyph, so he's got +1 attack in addition to 7 wounds. So 7 wounds, height, heroic glyph, 11 attack, Krug. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. Okay, so no new Sentinel, but that's okay
Because
He's
Krug
got another
isn't getting
chance.
there, and I don't
Yeah.
think Krug takes a chance to go for a treasure glyph after that first fumble. It'd just take one bad trap to kill him.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked the which one is it? Is it the Ring of Protection? Oh, I think there's a
Um,
healing one, but I don't see it in the pool.
yeah, I don't see the healing one in the pool, but Ring of
Yeah.
Protection would give him extra defense, which is nice, even if it's just one time. Right, another
Oof.
dead Mezzo,
Okay.
3 Mezzos.
So now I think Krug's. Let's see. So new round. So Scaperedude really hoping for that he's going to keep initiative, or he's going to get that initiative switch,
Yeah, that'd be great.
because otherwise Krug's going to come in there and
Hit things hard.
yeah, and if he gets that initiative switch, I feel like he's got a chance. Ooh,
Oh,
oh,
tie it off,
17.
just to make it even better. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
he only has to survive 2 attacks of 10 from Krug. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. He's got 6 defense. It could happen.
Yeah, only
He's got
5
6 defense.
skulls.
It could happen. It could. Oh man, it almost
Man.
happened.
Oh, that's a good finish.
Oh man, good get close game. Close game.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
closer than I think I would have thought. I feel like you know I I thought the Mezzos would be a good matchup here, but um, yeah, a lot closer. So I think good job for Scaper Dude playing that as close as he did.
Yeah, honestly, same. Like, going into this, I wasn't super confident in the Sentinels. Like in, I guess just Scaper Dude's ability to go in, or to beat the Mezzos, I guess. I didn't think it was going to go super well. But yeah, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. Got rid of all the Mezzodemon exoskeletons, and he was cleaning them up pretty well.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even
he's only
Krug
left
almost
with
got
3 there.
Krug.
Yeah, almost got Krug, and yeah, just had those 3 Mezzos left. And I think that's when we go back to uh, that decision with Cal. I feel like if Cal
Hmm.
had survived, you, if Cal had survived there, and he had been able to take off maybe effectively one more Exo, now you'd be looking at an end game of Cal versus 2 Mezzos, a 1 life Krug, and Marku, which is, you hope the D20 doesn't give you that 1-4
Right.
with Cal, but that's not bad, because those Mezzos only have 2 attacks per turn, and you can outrange them and get that first strike capability with Cal. Um, that's not a bad place to be in. But I like the Sentinels too of Grax. That was a good end game, I think, for them. They definitely did some good work.
Yeah, they really did a lot. I should have kept track of how much damage they did, because 4 wounds to Krug, they killed, I don't know, a good amount of Mezzos and did a lot of work on their exoskeletons as well. So
Yeah, I
yeah, I
think they
was really
did.
impressed by the Sentinels of Grax.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think this was the final, right?
Yeah, this was the finals, and so Captain Stupendous did take it home. He won the whole thing. Congratulations to him. Also, congratulations to Scaperedude for making it this far. Also, um, just do better, Scaperedude. Come on, I can say that because I. I'll definitely be giving him a hard time about it because I'll be seeing him this weekend, so that'll be fun. But yeah, no, I think really well played on both sides. Both players definitely knew what they were doing, and they definitely both made it this far for a reason, and they both did really well. So congrats to both.
Yeah, definitely. I think some good players and a good game here. I think it's tough that Mezzodemon army. I think it only lost 1 matchup the entire uh, time in the season. So, in some ways, that bring to format can be more about the army than the player. And so congratulations also to Escape Dude for building a good army that won the championship.
Yeah,
Too bad it
right.
was against him.
Hey, you lost, but you lost to yourself. So there you go. Yeah, no, I mean it was a really strong army and really good going in. Um, but yeah, yeah, for sure. So also thank you so much for joining me for this one, Sir Artorias. It was really good to have you on.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Hope to be back sometime.
Yeah, of course. I would be super glad to have you back on. I think you brought a lot of good insight to the game. I think you had a lot of good things to say. So yeah, I'm really glad to have had you. Before we sign off, do you have anything that you would like to say or share or anything like that?
Ooh, man, put on the spot a little bit. No, I think just like and subscribe. Can I say that?
Yeah, that works. I'll allow that. Of course, of course. I'm fine with that. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining me for this one. Thank you, viewers, of course, for viewing. As always, it's nice to have viewers to view things. It's good. Um, and yeah, so that'll be us. That'll be us for this game. Always remember what a beautiful world it is that you live in. And this will be 10 points under and out.